Hello and welcome back to Mindful Escape. My name's Leighton, and today we're going to talk about energy healing and how you can tap into your healing powers. So, one of the comments in my previous video was what happens during my energy sessions and how does it all work? So, I wanted to talk about that first, and then we'll finish the video with 3 things you can do today or start doing, implementing into your life to help you unlock your healing powers. So, to begin with, I just wanted to share that I believe that everyone has intuitive healing powers, and we just need to learn how to tap into these. And as I started uncovering my abilities, I realized that there were certain steps that led me up to that moment. And it's always difficult to join the dots looking forwards, but much easier to join the dots as you look back. So, in terms of my healing sessions, to completely explain what happens, I feel would be impossible because it's not actually me that does the healing. I'm purely a container, allow the universal energy to work through me. I'm guided by source, by spirit, whatever you want to call it. And I start the sessions by just meditating. The client is lying down either with me or doing it over the phone or over Zoom, whatever feels right in that moment or with that person. And as I tune in, I'm guided to a certain part in the body. And by hovering my hands over that part of the body, or sometimes it's placing my thumb or my palm onto that palm of the body, I can feel a certain emotion that comes up. It could be pain, it could be anger, it could be frustration, anxiety, feeling stuck. Sometimes I've had playfulness and calmness, but always different types of emotions that are being held in that part of the body. Sometimes a number comes through as well, which usually represents an age. And as I talk through what's happening, different emotions and different thoughts come up in the client's mind. It's optional whether they want to share those with me or keep them to themselves. But as we're working through, different things are happening, different energies are moving, different thoughts are arising. And for everybody, it's been completely different. So I can't describe the exact step-by-step process. Generally, I will do 4 different scans, starting from a more superficial scan. So we're seeing what's affecting the person in their day-to-day life, what's very present. It could be shown as a pain in the back because they're carrying a heavy burden right now. It could be that their knees are sore because they're feeling a bit stuck in life. Then sometimes we'll go to the second and third scan where we'll go a little bit deeper, usually towards a young adult trauma, maybe a teenage event. And then sometimes we go even younger to childhood traumas. Usually the childhood traumas come up in the 4th scan. The 4th scan is usually the deepest. I've even had people experience past life traumas where things have happened that they can remember. And by going through the energy healing, we're allowing them to bring that to the surface, allowing them to process it, realize what's creating the pattern in their life today. And this could be any trauma that's happened throughout your life, something that's created a wound in you, something that's created a belief, a deep-rooted belief, a limiting belief, or created a pattern of behavior in your life that's keeping you perhaps stuck, preventing you from moving forward, stopping you from living out your full potential, stepping into the light, discovering your true powers and being your true authentic self. So all of these things come up throughout the session. I am simply a guide. I allow any stuck energies to start moving again. Sometimes I can shift certain things that are stuck in the body. And again, this all just comes through to me during the session. It's not something that I've trained to do. I'm not doing it myself. I'm simply a container. The energy moves through me. I'm guided by spirit, by source through the session to allow the person to heal. I simply ask that the healing is done in a way that is for the best or highest good of all. And at the start of the session, I'll always ask the client to set an intention or a complaint that they want to figure out what is being created or how it's being caused in their life or what is being manifested. And by doing this, by setting the intention, then we can learn or discover what it is that's creating that problem in their life. I had an example recently where a lady had knee problems for a very long time, for a number of years, but she's been having a lot of pain. And a couple of days after the session, for the first time in years, she was able to move her knees a bit more. And she felt comfortable walking up and down the stairs, which she hadn't done for years. And she said to me, something had shifted in her body that released the pain, that released that tension, and she was allowed to move more freely. Other people have said that they've had a lot of tightness in their chest, and then after the session, they just felt like things had opened. They felt more free, more open to giving and receiving love. Others have felt a lot more lighter, freer, more liberated, are words that people have used. And generally, a lot happens throughout the sessions, a lot that we're not consciously aware of. And it usually takes 3 or 4 days after the session for people to integrate everything that's come up. So I often just touch base with people a couple of days later just to see how they're feeling, what else comes up. I had one guy who didn't have back pain before the session. After the day after, he had a little bit of back pain, and he said he just felt like something was moving through him. The following day, the back pain was gone, and it was like he just had to be reminded of something. It was something in his life that he was holding pressure there, and after a couple of days, he felt like it'd come. It was a reminder for him to let go of something or to release a load that he was carrying. And then the next day it was fine again. So yeah, everyone has completely different experiences. It's really fascinating for me to see what comes up for people and how I can help people on their journeys. And the more open people are during the session, the more that we can explore. And obviously there are sometimes things that people don't want to see. And if they don't want to see it, then I'm not able to bring that up. Sometimes there's just stuff that we're not ready to see yet, and it needs to be a safe container for people to be able to process the emotions, process the feelings and the traumas that have happened throughout their life. And if you're not ready to deal with that, if you're not ready to see it, then it's not going to come up during the session. I had another client who's now had 3 sessions with me. In the first 2 sessions, it was very light. We didn't really see that much. There was energy shifting for sure. There was different thoughts and emotions, traumas that were coming up, but they were very light. And it wasn't until the 3rd session that we had a really big breakthrough where she explained to me that she finally allowed herself to open up and completely relax and not allow her mind to take over the process and try and intellectualize the whole thing, and just allow the energy to come, allow whatever energy, feelings, emotions, and thoughts to come through, and just allow her body to process that. And for her, it was the most powerful session. She had a big release, a lot of emotion after the session. And yeah, for each person, it's been completely different. So that's a little bit about my sessions. If I've missed anything or if you have any more questions, please put them in the comments below. I just wanted to share now a couple of things that I found really helped me in unlocking my healing powers or abilities or container, whatever you want to call it, and things that you can implement today to help you. So number 1 is all about intuition. I realized over the last few months, I've been training to follow my intuition more, trying to understand what is my heart, what is my head, trying to listen to the feelings in my body and not trying to control everything with my mind. So the first thing you can do is just allow yourself to follow your intuition. Listen to your body. Listen to what feels right. Try to get rid of the noise that's around you. I found it really useful to take a break from social media, to not go to busy places where there's a lot going on, and just trying to tune into myself, where I could meditate a bit more, I could be in quiet spaces, I could really feel into my body and just notice what was going on for me and just start making decisions on what feels right. And it can be small decisions. It could be what you're going to eat, where you're going to go that day, what book you're going to read, who you're going to speak to. It could be anything, what you're going to do at work, what you're going to study. And all of these decisions, if you really listen to your heart, listen to your soul, listen to your body, then the answers are there. So it's just trying to shut off the mind and not get too bogged up in that mental restriction, limitation that's in the mind, and leaning into that intuition. The second thing is about trusting your intuition. So it's all very well saying, oh, I'm going to try and listen to my intuition. But unless you believe and trust that your intuition is a true thing, and you might not call it intuition, it might be your gut feeling, it could be following your heart, it could be, I don't know, something else, the feeling inside, something feels, maybe it's the energy, maybe it's the vibe, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but you have to believe and you have to trust that it's a real thing and that your intuition, your gut feeling, your heart is always guiding you. And if you don't believe it, then it's really hard to do step one, because while you're listening to your body, if you're always doubting, if you're always questioning, is this feeling real? Is this message something I should listen to? Then it's going to be very hard to keep following that. You're going to be coming up with obstacles all the time. So number one is just feeling into your intuition. Number two is believing and trusting your intuition. For the third one, it's all about listening to the subtle voices and feelings. When I've spoken to people about listening to their intuition or the energies or the feelings, I've realized that when I was first trying to tap into my intuition or those feelings or the healing messages or the channeling, whatever it might be, I was trying to do it from a physical aspect. I was trying to see physically something, an object, a sign, a message. I was trying to hear something in the space. I was trying to feel something physically. But I realize now that the whispers, the messages, and the signs are so subtle. Someone gave a really good example. It's like being in a busy space and then someone else comes and taps on your shoulder and whispers something in your ear. And obviously it's so loud, there's things going on, there's people, there's noise, there's different energy running around. And it's just a tiny tap on the shoulder, a tiny whisper into the voice. And that's how subtle the energies are. And if we haven't done the first two steps, so practice feeling the energy and two, believing and trusting, then it's really hard to notice those subtle energies. So the three steps again is just feeling yourself, feeling the energy. Second is believing and trusting that the energies are there. And three, going beyond the physical and noticing the subtle energies and not being too fixated on the physical realm. I hope that was useful. I will be back again in a couple of days with another video. If you've got any questions or anything, please put them in the comments below. If you're not already, please subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you.